Here I hate even more Black Swan. I think that beneath this mask of whatever, I don't know of what, did you notice how you have an extremely, it's the latest version of an extremely reactionary idea, which is, to put it very simply, while man can pursue his career mission and still have a normal private life, for woman, she has to make a choice. If she opts for her mission, I want to be singer, ballerina, in this case, it means death. A woman pays the dedication to her public mission with death. This, as you probably know, is an old anti-feminist idea that while men can play public roles, for a woman this means self-destruction. You know, usually it's done with singing. You know, it's from Offenbach, Hoffman's Tales, where the second one, or which one I know is the one, or the third one, I always forget. In the opera, it's the one who doesn't want to renounce her singing, and precisely the devil, the bad guy, tempts her by telling her sing, and she drops dead. And to be a little bit ironic, although you know it was translated, I wrote a short book on Kieślowski, but isn't it a little bit of the same in the double life of Veronique? Like your Polish one wants to identify herself with, you drop down. The other one, the French one, is a good, proper woman who knows woman's role is not to fully identify it, you have to remain a warm, private being, and so on and so on. So, again, this is our reality. And now I come to the title that you reminded me. I hope you know to what I refer in the title. It's a well-known legend, probably it's apocryphal. It didn't happen, but you know this wonderful Italian saying, se non è vero, è ben trovato. Even if it's not true, it's well found, like there is a truth in it. The idea is that in the First World War, in the middle of it, there was an exchange of telegrams between German and Austrian military headquarters, between Berlin and Vienna. In Berlin, they sent a telegram to Vienna, with us the situation is serious but not catastrophic. You can guess, the Austrians answered, with us it's catastrophic but not serious. No? And I claim that this split attitude, it's catastrophic but not serious, is more and more becoming our reality. That is to say, we rationally know there is a threat of catastrophe. But in a nice example of what in psychoanalysis we call fetishist split, we somehow suspend, let's call it, the symbolic efficiency of it. You know, you rationally acknowledge it, but you block the efficiency. You don't really take it seriously. Isn't this more and more, I claim, how we deal with, for example, ecology? Everybody, or at least most of the people, maybe your politics doesn't admit it, but everyone knows the threat is quite serious. No, I am not, to be very clear, I am not a catastrophist. I am not saying, you know, in 1 year it will be all over, you know, 2012, will you see that horrible film? The only nice moment that I liked in the film is that strange celebration of China. You know, when they build those big ships, and something only the Chinese can do. It's like, communist China saves humanity, basically. This is so. Here, the director, Emmerich Roland, has a nice line in his films. And did you see his previous, about global freezing, the day after tomorrow? This wonderful ironic inversion, where you can see on Mexican borders, Americans asking to be allowed, and then Mexico, yeah, come in and so on. Okay, but what I want to say is that I am not preaching any kind of apocalyptic catastrophe. I think that on the contrary, when I meet a guy who does this kind of a panic, oh my God, you see it's coming. You know, whenever something happens, like this summer is a little bit hot, and they say, oh, can you imagine what it will next year, we will all, whatever. I claim that this is maybe the most refined way to avoid confronting dangers. Because if catastrophe is almost here, then let's sit and enjoy it, no? But of course, they talk so much about it because, you know, it is this superficial logic. Even I practice it sometimes, but not with ecology. You know that when sometimes there is a threat of something, you must remember this. We are all probably doing this. You think that if I talk a lot about it, I can make it sure that it will not happen. No? So I claim that our answer to those catastrophes who try to warn us there will be end of the world catastrophe, our answer for them should be no, not you exaggerate, it's not so bad, but calm, don't worry, there will be a catastrophe, don't worry. Because it's almost they're worried that, or whatever, it will not be, and so on. So again, I'm not saying that. All I'm saying is the following thing. How, in what irrational way we are dealing with ecological threat. Like in this book, Tragedy Farce, I just make this comparison. There was 2 years ago in Copenhagen, just before financial crisis, there was a meeting of the Great 20 in Copenhagen, you may remember, for ecology. With great effort, they promised, the money didn't even today appear anywhere, they promised $20 billion, and basically they agreed that they will meet again in 2 years. And this was hailed as a big success, no? Then a month or two later, there was that financial crisis. You remember how there, in a week or two, it wasn't difficult to get $750 billion. Like, it is as if, okay, we may be all dead of ecological catastrophe, that's not a problem. The main thing is that capital should circulate. No, that's the real thing. So, also, did you notice another thing? I don't know how much, probably here you don't even care a lot about ecology, but for example, in the United States, I noticed this. Now that they know that the danger is for the real, they no longer use the strategy, this French liberal economist, Guy Sorman's strategy of dismissing ecology as a kind of a neo-communist trick, like they failed there, now they try to use this to fight capitalism. No, they only claim, you know, it reminds me a little bit of this right-wing, not defense, but ambiguity towards Hitler. You must know this classical line of argumentation, where they say, okay, we admit it, Hitler did some problematic things, like kill the Jews and so on, but on the other hand, you know, trains were on time, he fought unemployment, he built highways, so it must be balanced. You know, like you cannot only... The best answer to this is, maybe you know it, was told to me by Wolf Biermann. He's ex-dissident now, he's right-winger, but he told me that immediately after the Wende, the fall of communism, he met some East German. It's typically, there in East German you have much more neo-Nazis than in the Western part, some neo-Nazi ecologists, and in a debate he attacked them, but you are for, my God, you are for Hitler. And it's wonderful, terrifyingly wonderful, their answer. You know what they told him? They told him, no, this is not true. We reject Hitler. Why? Because Hitler did some good things, like trying to kill the Jews, to get rid of the Jews. But he did also some horrible things, like all the highways which were ruining nature and so on. There is something terrifyingly true to this, no? So what I am saying is that in this time, more and more, their big powers in the media are trying to play this balancing game. Like, recently I read some articles where the reasoning was this one. Okay, global warming, but look at the positive side. Like, the North Pole ice is melting, so soon there will be a direct passage for boats from China across the North Pole, much shorter to the United States, so it will make much cheaper all those stupid toys that we are buying from China, you know. Or they said, look, in Greenland, there was an obscene CNN report the greening of Greenland. Look, okay, there are some bad sides of global warming, but look, they can again grow vegetables. This type of, and you know what is so sad?